Hi everyone, so more news about update 5.5 has been released today. So this is devlog 43. So Lemmy has produced a lot of info for us to go through for 5.5. So let's start. So lashing whips and flying steel. Hi everyone, Lemmy Llama here. I hope that everyone has enjoyed the raid changes we made in update 5.4. This dev update, I'll be explaining some of the upcoming raid changes we're making to complement the work we have already released in 5.4. We're also discussing one of the major changes that will be including to completely change how players defeat the Titans and progress through the stages. Let's go through into upcoming event 5.5. So with 5.4, we've added the cursed armor, which gave multiplicative debuffs or to burst damage or affliction damage. However, the area and the enemy bonuses that were added in tier 3 currently have addictive damage bonus. So in order to stabilize these bonuses, we're making an all area and enemy damage bonus multiplicative, which should lead to greater diversity and strategy when attacking the Titan Lords and lead to some nice damage boosts when you choose raids with a plus damage buff. Additionally, the 5.4 update released some card balance changes to help make cards more viable. Overall, 2 cards were notably unchanged despite not being used as often. So specific Whip of Lightning and Decaying Strike. With these cards, we didn't want to just make some small numerical changes, but instead rework the cards to make the cards stronger and more viable. Overall, these changes should allow Whip of Lightning and Decaying Strike to be used more often and deal some great damage. So the Whip of Lightning being reworked to double the amount of activation chance you gain per affliction part. However, it also have an activation chance cap set to 10%. This cap is higher than the current value that Whip of Lightning can achieve. It's doable while attacking fewer parts. This will allow Whip of Lightning to be used with a larger variety of afflictions, as it will max in effectiveness once 5 Titanal parts are afflicted. I expect that players will use Whip of Lightning alongside afflictions such as Maelstrom, Ravenous Swarm and Radioactivity after these changes to deal a lot more damage. Let me know if you've been using the Whip of Lightning deck and what kind of decks you've been using. Have you noticed any increase, and is it become a prime user, like a prime powerhouse? The only problem with the update of Whip Lightning and Decaying Strike, because they weren't used before, they're very low level, so even if they did get boosted, it's still going to take you time to level those cards up. Unless you have, obviously, if you're a new player, it'll probably be evenly leveled anyway. But if you're a late game player, unfortunately, because the card Whip of Lightning was rubbish, it is ridiculously low level, so to spend a lot of dust to level that up to find out if it's any good might be a waste. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried some deck examples. If so, what examples have you done, and how's the damage output? Is it increased? Is it one of your better decks? Let me know. So as for Decaying Strike, people chose to not use the cards often due to damage decreasing as the Titan Lords were damaged. This would lead to players to lose damage if the clan members attacked before they were able to use Decaying Strike. With the rework to the card, we changed it to instill Decaying in parts that have already damaged, helping clear Titan Lord parts a player have been attacking and close to breaking. While a stack of Decaying Strike is applied to a part, it will receive increased damage based on how low the health is. This with a cap to its health. This allows players to clear Titan Lord parts under a certain health threshold to maximize their damage, making Decaying Strike the perfect finisher. Note, it looks at the health of the current part and layer you're attacking, so you'll receive this damage bonus with armor AP is low, and then again receive it when body HP is low. In addition to the other Decaying Strike change, we will also be tweaking the card to largely increase the card damage and decrease in duration of each strike. The goal is to reduce the number of parts we want to target with Decaying Strike, but to increase overall damage that players deal with the card. We're tentatively looking at making Decaying Strike viable when attacking 2 Titan Lord parts, which means that combination Decaying Strike with cards like Victory March will be one of the strongest ways to deal final blow to Titan Lords. Interesting. Again, have you been using Decaying Strike with VM and maybe a burst to finish it? Has it increased damages? I've got to test this out. There's a lot of changes coming up, so I need to do some. We'll be going to tier 4 raiding soon, and when that happens, I can test out all the decks and explain a bit more about tier 4 raiding, if there's any deck changes and strategies. It's still got, tons to research to do. They're doing so many changes soon, which is good, but trying to keep up, it's a lot of work. So this is the big stuff. This is talking about 5.5 now. Now that we've discussed the changes to raids and raid cards, let's get into changes to the main gameplay. Now, skill tree is one of the most interesting ways to change how you play the game, as your choices strengthen your chosen damage source and gold source, as well give you valuable boosts in power and speed. 5.5 will make two large changes to the skill tree and skill tree builds, which will completely change how players will play the game now and in the future. Now, there are currently 4 main damage sources in the game, so players can choose Clanship, Pet, Shadow Clone and Heavenly Strike. Those are 4 main builds. Each offer a unique way to play the game with different levels of activity, speed and power. I'm happy to announce today that we'll be adding a 5th main damage source to the game, Daggers. A 5th build. 5th build, guys, Daggers. So is that inactive play? Is that stealth? I wonder how, this is people have been asking that for ages. So this will fill the gap between Pet and Heavy Strike builds for players who want to build where they can actively tap to defeat the Titan Lords, but you also won't need to be constantly tapping to maximize your damage output. Daggers will be much more focused on critical damage, deadly strike and sword attack damage than any other build, which allow you to throw your steel and defeat Titan with ease. In order to support the new Dagger build, we're making changes to equipment, talents and artifacts to help you succeed with the new build type. Slash equipment with Dagger damage primary effect will now appear, as well as sword equipment with Dagger damage secondary bonuses, and we're adding new talent with the Dagger smash skip, which allow you to pass through more Titans with each attack. Scaling off how many crafting... it's scaling from crafting shards. Okay. So scaling off crafting shards you have spent. After all, someone has to be crafting all these daggers you are throwing. This will track all previously spent crafting shards, so there's no need to concern about waiting for your crafting shards. Finally, we're adding a brand new dagger damage artifact, which will help you deal daggers more, deal massive damage. So, alright, so they're reworking everything. I wonder how much testing they're going to do, because normally when it introduces the change of a main algorithm to artifacts, it basically comes unbalanced for a while. So trying to give a prime example, like back in this is way back, like when they did introduce the skill builds for the warrior and warlord and changed all that. They did find that warlord was more stronger than pet. Pet's always been weak for ages, and that's just the way that obviously they've leveled up the artifacts mainly towards hero and warlord and warcry and that sort of thing. But if they mainly input damage, I wonder if that becomes the new meta, and basically as soon as you change, you gain a lot of extra stages. It becomes the most powerhouse build, especially if it's crafting shards. I can imagine a lot of people farming that. It's how easy is to farm shards? I suppose Titan chest, but then again you can do that with any of the other talents as well. You can farm that, but just buying loads of Titan chests. So I don't know. I have to see how balanced it is. Finally, we're going to be tweaking the skill tree. Ooh, second big change. However, this change will not be centered around the new Dagger build, but will change to allow change all the skill trees and builds moving forward. So with 5.5 update, we'll be changing the user interface of the skill tree to allow the addition of new tier 5 skills, as well as new skill trees. This will open up a large amount of space to us design new skills, rework existing skills, and give space for new skill builds to thrive. This update is the start of a series of updates we'll be releasing that will change the face of the skill tree, and it will eventually end with our current 4 skill trees with 4 tiers of skills that will be scaling out to 6 skill trees with 5 tiers of skills. Changes coming, and players will be sneaking rogues is only tip of the Dagger we have planned for. So hang on, they snuck in. They said 6 trees. So I understand Dagger, because at the moment there's 4, so they may add another one, which would be separate rogue or ninja style. But what would be the 6th one? Let me know if you've got comments below what you think it might be. Because, oh man, that is really interesting. Let's look at the, currently, there's 4 skill trees. So you've got Knight, Warlord, Sorcerer, and Rogue. So, what do you reckon would be the 2 additional skill trees? And they add in another tier, so another bottom row. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th tier. of skills. So I don't know if it would be 3 or maybe just 2, because some of them might just need 1 or 2 added, not just actual like a row of 3. But still, what skills would it? There's so much information I need to know. So normally all these are the kind of knight, warlord, sorcerer, rogue are kind of like fantasy style roles. So I don't know whether or not the additional ones will stick with that theme. So knight, warlord, sorcerer, rogue. The only I think of is like berserker maybe. There's if one of the tabs are called berserker, so basically it is literally be hard, like maybe heavy and attack, melee attack. So it says sorcerer, it'd be like namely, well, pretty much be like warlord, but maybe berserk it'd be a mix of like hero and crit, and maybe something else. I don't know. So I'm trying to think what else I can think of. Berserker, priest. I don't know what priest would do. You can't really heal anything, but necromancer, like maybe just do undead. I don't know. Put up loads of different names now. But if you got to think, any idea of what you think the 2 additional skill trees will be, and the skills, leave a comment below. Or if you know someone that works at Game Hive and you've looked underneath their special confidential folder, let us know. That's amazing, because this is big change. This is a big change. To change to 6 skill builds, skill trees, 6 skill trees, added skills. I mean, as I said, they're more likely to be, there's 4 main builds at the moment. They're more likely to be 5th, maybe even 6th, maybe a hybrid one. So that changes the game to make it a bit more universal. That you can change different builds to your style. Even inactive player, if you're an active player, if you like to push, you like to farm, it does change a lot. I do feel really sorry for the people at the Compedium website, because they've got a lot of work coming up. Tons of work, because a lot of people would be like, where's our build guides? And so yeah, I think they should start a Patreon, and we should start giving them full-time payment. Thank you everyone for reading this week's dev updates. Please let us know anything exciting and upcoming changes. If anything you'd like to see and as we start to design new skill trees, please comment below on any cool skills you really want to see. I'll be doing a bit of testing for the new Dagger build, and it's been an absolute blast to try out and throw daggers to directly defeat the Titans. Whew. Wow, that's amazing. So that's huge news to take in. So 5.5 is one big one. It basically will change all the builds. So all the builds and skills would be to be re-looked at. So when 5.5 come out, I've got tons of work to do. So I'll make sure that you're updated and latest news, build information, strategies and guides. You know this is #1 place. So you know the right thing to do is to sub. And so you are up to date as soon as any Tap Titan news gets released, any builds, guides, tips and tricks, then hit that button, helps the channel out loads, and I love you for it. And apart from that, that's a lot to take in. I'm glad I've got holiday coming up, because I'm going to need that to digest all that going forward. Well, I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.